Hello.
Hello. How are you guys? Look at all of you. Can I just say thank you? You guys have all been so fabulous and patient, and we appreciate it greatly. So kudos to all of you. You are the real heroes of this show.
Yes, you can say that. Man,
Thank
there's
you.
so many great fans here. Like, I have to say that these GalaxyCons are phenomenal. They are way bigger in these towns than they should be. I don't know how in the world there are this many people that come to these shows in places like Richmond that you wouldn't expect. Like, more people come out to... and I think they've done a good job. They brought these cons to so many places that haven't had a good con near them in a long time. And the people here, you guys, is who I'm talking about, have all been just so nice. And they're like so cool and so kind when you come up and hang out with us. Like, I really, really appreciate you all very much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you. Good night. Have a good day. And you're so understanding when I'm tired and I want to leave. I'm joking.
And then it becomes the Monica panel. No.
So Monica, is this your first time here in Richmond?
I actually have been to Richmond, but it was many, many, many years ago. This is my first GalaxyCon, yes.
Very first GalaxyCon.
At Richmond, in Richmond. I've been to Galaxy. It's one of my favorite shows. You guys know how to run a show.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'll let them know in the back. So, man, we already have a line of folks ready. Are you guys ready? You guys feel like taking some questions or so?
I mean,
Yeah.
Might as
Okay.
well.
Sure. What else we got to do? How you doing, sir? What's your name?
Robert.
How you doing, Robert?
Hi. It was nice meeting you guys yesterday. I had a lot of fun, and at the party last night, it was really cool. I had well, first I want to say my girlfriend loves Bulma. I was talking with her last night. She was like, you got to say something to her. So I was like, all right, I got to
Hold on to her, by the way. She's awesome.
I will. And then, I got to say, Piccolo and Vegeta are my favorite characters. And I'm like, I didn't know that you voiced them both at first. So when I found that out, I was like, I'm done. I love this. My question is, I know, Monica, I know I talked with you yesterday, and you said that Chris is kind of like a brother to you. So I've always wondered, what's your favorite part about working together? And this goes for you, too. What's your favorite part about working together, and what's something that kind of gets on your, like,
Nerves.
Yeah.
when does he aggravate me and annoy the crap out of me?
I doubt ever. I mean, there's no way that's possible.
Well, for those of you that don't know, outside of Dragon Ball, Chris and I, for whatever reason, I guess because our voices are the opposite, we end up spending a lot of time playing opposite each other. If you watch One Piece, he's Zoro, I'm Tashigi. If you've seen Speedgrapher, he is the photographer and I am the goddess. Like, there's all kinds of roles where we end up playing opposite each other.
Our voices are married in the
Yes.
animated universe.
I always call him my anime hubby because he is. But you know what? We've known each other for 20 years. We've worked together in so many different capacities. And so when I say he's like a brother, it's more that he's family. Like, at this point, Chris is part of my family, and that's just the way it goes. I know his mom. I know his wife.
That is true.
I know his children. But it's really cool because when you've worked with somebody that long, you have a rapport, you have a chemistry. I know him in and out. So if we're working on a new show and he hasn't recorded yet, if I see the character and I think, okay, what would Chris sound like if he's doing that? I can actually hear my interpretation of what he would do, and therefore I can lay down my tracks thinking about how he would respond, which I think is also another reason we get cast opposite each other a lot, is that we do have that rapport.
Yeah, we know each other. Like, Monica was like this magical person that existed in another land, and I explain that a little further. So in 1998, we started dubbing all this stuff for the show called Dragon Ball. Have you guys heard of that show? Yeah. We were in Dallas, however, I lived and I grew up in Houston, so I moved to Dallas to go to college. And right at the end of my years of college, I got the job working at Funimation. And so we're working for years in Dallas, trying to find anybody who can do this work, because back in those days, dubbing didn't pay any money, so the agencies were like, no, thank you. And so finding talent took some time. I mean, and Funimation didn't have a lot of money back there. They're like, well, why can't you use the girl sitting in the front office over there? I'm like, it just doesn't work like that. And then all of a sudden, I started as I was going to more and more cons, I noticed, like, there's another company that's also dubbing these things called like AD Vision or something like that, and they're in Houston. I'm like, what? That's only 4 hours away from us. And I was looking at the back of one of the VHS tapes of a thing called Cutie Honey at one point, and I noticed that, yeah, you guys know that show. There was an actress who was Cutie for a while. Her name is Jessica Calvello. And that girl lived in my neighborhood when I was growing up, and we had the same piano teacher and stuff like that. So I was like, this, and my mind is blowing here. So all of a sudden, like, we start reaching out to some of the people from ADV, and this is the time when kind of Dragon Ball was reaching kind of the end of our recording, but we were starting to record lots of new things. Monica and all these other great actors like Chris Ayres and Greg Ayres and all the and Chris Patton and Lucy Christian, I could go on, and there was this whole group of people that it was like we'd found another planet, and we all spoke the same language. It was the first time ever. Like, wait, we do dubbing, you do dubbing. Like, you already know how to do this. This is so weird.
So we're the Namekians, is what you're saying.
You guys are the Namekians. Yeah.
I like being green. It's good.
Yeah. So yeah, Monica, they were such a breath of fresh air because they were just this massive talent crew, this talent pool that we got to access at some point, and it was like they were clones kind of all of us at Funimation, except at ADV, there actually were more female voice actors because Dragon Ball was such a male-heavy show that it was only men that were getting work. There was only dudes getting work on Dragon Ball because it was like, all right, we need another guy who can scream again. But at ADV, they were doing a lot of other shows that had really vast, huge talent, and so that's when I've known Monica for 1 billion years now, it seems like, yeah.
As far as the annoying part, and I wouldn't say it's annoying, it's quite fun, but you never know when it's going to happen. He has a tendency to leave what we call bombs. So it's when you don't record the line as written, you just make up your own line, which is fine. Unless you're working on a show called Yona of the Dawn. Thank you. Which is a very serious love story, if you will. And again, we are partnered against each other. And so it gets to this very serious scene, and all of a sudden, Hawk, his character, starts rapping about Brenda, who's got a big old booty. And I'm sitting there going, this isn't canon. What's happening?
Yeah, usually the director won't tell you when one of those lines is coming. They're like, all right, let's go ahead and record it. And then the person ahead of you is like, this is something that's not in the script and can completely throw you off. Like, one of the best bombs that happened to me was actually by a guy named Mike McFarlane. He plays Master Roshi and a billion other things. He's the director of One Piece. He is the director of Attack on Titan. Oh, he's also in My Hero Academia. I forgot what his character name is.
Oh gosh, Tail.
Tail. His name is Tail.
No, he's got a name.
His name is Tail.
Tail. Triple T. Thank you.
So there's a lot of times when it's critical for you to hear the other actors is when, especially in Dragon Ball, you know how there's always lines where all the characters say the same exact thing at the same exact time. It's like all the characters at once say one line. And so it's important, if you aren't the first person to record, to go in and you have to hear what they've done first, and then you just kind of repeat it. It's pretty easy. Well, Mike McFarlane had come in to record on a Dragon Ball thing, and he was the first person recording this group line. And the response was supposed to be like someone said something, and then the group goes, "He said what?" Which is the only way you could read that line. But when Mike did his, I was listening for it, and he goes, "He said what?" And I have never freaked out so hard because I wasn't in for Mike's session. Another director directed him like, "You let him go with that freaking line? Like, how could you let him read it like that?" He goes, "That was just a joke." Like, but I was like freaking out for a moment that they were gonna leave that as the final thing because Mike's a really good actor and he would have never done that. It was just intentionally recorded poorly.
He said what?
He said what?
I like it.
Along those same lines, do you find it more difficult when there isn't somebody else there, when you're not working, when you're not feeding off of somebody, when you're just going in and having to listen for cues as opposed to looking at somebody's face and getting ready to feed lines back to them?
Yeah, we go in individually, which is always, a lot of people freak out when they hear that, but we have to match those little mouth flaps Then we have nightmares about them. It's awful. But yeah, we usually go in individually, and then if you're one of the first people, sometimes, as was very often on Super, actually, I'd be one of the first people in, and there wasn't even, like, we didn't even have sound effects tracks yet. So I was speaking to a vacuum, basically. If you can imagine trying to play Bulma where there is no sound whatsoever, it was terrifying. This guy's lucky, though, as Vegeta, because he gets to come in at the very end.
Yep.
And
Because I own the studio where it's recorded,
Yeah.
so I gotta let everyone else record first, and then I get. Because if you're the last person to record on a dub, that's like the best. That's like a prize because you just get to walk in. Everything else is there. It's like the whole rest of the show is already done, and you just get to walk in and like say your lines and know that they fit. I also, in a way, like to go last because that allows me to kind of act off other people and insert jokes or like.
you get all the best lines because of that.
I know. Because I get to fill in awkward gaps. If like I've done this in Dragon Ball a few times, where like sometimes just putting the line exactly where the Japanese is sometimes comes across like a little stilted. So we'll add little additional lines here and there, just kind of fill the conversation and make it sound more realistic. Like one of my favorites is one that Monica actually did in Battle of Gods movie, where like I guess Beerus and Whis have just shown up. And Vegeta introduces him as like a friend of his that he's known for a long time. And this wasn't in the script, but Bulma finishes her line. She goes, "Oh, that's cool. Come to the party," and turns around. And that was supposed to be the end. But Monica added this one line where she yells to everyone in the party, like, "Look, guys, Vegeta actually has friends." Oh, it was such a wonderful moment, and it was like wasn't in the original script, but because nothing else was there, it wasn't wrong either.
It was a special moment. She really thought you had friends.
Yeah, sure, she cares.
Come on. He's got one friend, and I don't even know if you guys are really friends. Like they're rivals and friends, right?
Frenemies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Vegeta and people have said, like, do you think Vegeta will ever beat Goku? I'm like, well, yeah, he probably would. And then he'd be the loneliest person ever. Like, he would be so sad. Like, he would be so depressed afterwards. He'd be like, okay, I'll go get the Dragon Balls. Wish him back. I can't do this without him anymore.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You guys are awesome. I love you guys.
Hello.
So, we meet again.
Ugh. Android 18.
Sorry, not sorry for breaking your arm, by the way.
Ouch.
All right, so business pitch. You know, body pillows? Picture this, a throw pillow, but with your face on it. After all, I've heard there's already one in existence, according to Monica. And why isn't this product out already? Do you not like people touching your face?
Oh, man. Okay.
Gotcha!
So
Thank you, Auntie.
last week we're at this other convention in Las Vegas, and for our last panel, they had made us all pillows that had just our faces on them, basically our headshot.
It was different.
I've never
different.
seen anything like that before. We went to go sit down our panel. They had couches. We sat down, and there was a pillow that had our face on it. And Colleen Clinkybeard, who's the voice of Gohan, and she's also the director for My Hero Academia and a billion other things, and she's Momo or whatever. She immediately grabs mine, and she's like, "Mine, I'm keeping this one forever." And she held it the whole panel, but she had her hand on the pillow the whole time. So, and I just have this thing. I don't like people touching my face that much. It's just like awkward. But I had to look down. I have a picture of it in my phone of her just with her hand on my face for the entire panel. I couldn't even pay attention because it was bothering me so much.
He was so uncomfortable. And I was like, but it's not it's your face, but it's not your face. But it was
still
cute.
my face, and it was in her lap, and she had her hand right on top of it, and it was super awkward.
And now she has all three of our pillows. Apparently, mine, Chris, and Sean's are all going to reside in her office at Funimation.
Forever.
Forever.
Good question.
Thanks, 18.
Well, I don't know how. Jesus Christ. I don't know how I'm gonna top that one, but
Just
how
that
y'all
voice
doing?
alone. Hello. That's amazing.
Well, I told Chris that growing up, I always wanted to be like Goku, but eventually I ended up like Piccolo. 1, because of the voice, and 2, because I'm tall, and 3, I'm bald. So, but no, my name
We
is,
all end up like Piccolo at one point or another.
I know. Next thing I got to do is just take someone's friend and raise their kid as my own. Okay, so.
Be
It
careful,
is.
because that's not entirely legal. So just say,
Well, let's just say I'm the Godfather or something. But
all right, that's fine.
yeah, that's not my question.
I always have to tell little kids when they come up for My Hero Academia, and I'll write like "eat my hair" or whatever for my, and then I'll tell young kids, I'm like, by the way, like if an adult ever comes to you and says like, if you eat my hair, you can have like my power. Don't eat anyone's hair, please. Please don't eat it. That's
That's just a
disgusting.
rule in life. Don't eat anyone's hair, y'all. Just don't do it.
But my question was this. So as you clearly you guys have inspired of a lot of people, especially everybody in this room and the millions of people around the world. I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, clearly, like everyone else. My whole thing was, yeah, woo, yeah, okay. Alrighty. Anyway, so my whole thing is, have you guys ever run into like people that were inspired by you that are like, there are a lot of professional athletes, fighters, NFL players, NBA players, musicians. My girlfriend right here, her favorite rapper is Meg Thee Stallion, and her favorite anime is My Hero Academia. Have you guys ever ran into any people like that, and have they ever like told you how you've inspired them or anything like that?
We did a really cool thing at San Diego Comic-Con last year where we did a Dragon Ball panel with Mohamed Sanu, who's on the New England Patriots now, and to get to talk to him about how Dragon Ball had inspired him and motivated him to be a professional football player was really cool. I work with Michael B. Jordan on Genlock for Rooster Teeth, and but one of my favorite things about Michael B. Jordan is if you watch one of his first trailers, basically for Genlock, he is sitting there playing fighters. And he turns to the camera, and you can see he's playing fighters. He's like, hey, guys, I love anime. I love Dragon Ball. I'm like, Michael B. Jordan loves anime. The only thing that makes me mad is he had a whole anime release at Coach, and it was Naruto. Michael B. Jordan.
Mistakes were made, you know.
But yeah, there's been quite a few. I'm sure you were on a plane next to Hanson brother. That was...
That was so weird.
Hold on. Not only did you fly with them, you actually brought them to the convention.
I did bring them to the convention, actually. Like, one of the Hanson brothers was sitting in front of me on the plane. He goes, "Are you Chris Sabat?" I go, "Yeah." And I said, "Are you a Hanson?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I really like Dragon Ball." And I go, "That's cool." I've always wanted to see a Hanson show. And so I went and saw their show, and they went and came and they saw our show, and like we're best buds now. Apparently they're like, it's blowing my mind how many people like watch Dragon Ball. I mean, it was clear, like, but just we're at the age now where all the people who are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are like working professionals, and they're in their mid-20s and some 30s, like,
And bald.
many of them. But yeah, we've met so many people. Like whenever I find out that anyone likes Dragon Ball that's a celebrity, I always like feel like I'm really endeared to them. Like Ronda Rousey was a big Dragon Ball fan. There was another WWE wrestler recently who came out dressed as All Might, which was pretty cool. Yeah, it never fails to like make me super happy when I find out that people are really into the show that I worked on. So,
Thank you.
Have you guys, a friend of GalaxyCon, Josh Petersdorf, loves, because he also works at Universal Studios, and he will walk behind people that have Overwatch shirts and backpacks and stuff on. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation with somebody about My Hero or Dragon Ball who doesn't know you are who you are?
I haven't had that per se, but I did go to, there was an event at a Dallas convention where some of the creators of My Hero were there, and Funimation had asked me and Justin Briner to be on this panel. This is very early days of My Hero. So we went to this convention. We were not on the guest list. Nobody expected us to be there. So I was walking around the con, and there was a lot of cosplay of my various characters, and I'm like, I'm gonna be silly. So I would walk behind people and I would do the voice and then run away. So that you'd have these cosplayers and they're like posing for pictures all cool, and all of a sudden they hear it and they're like, and then of course I'd find them later and be like, hi, I didn't mean to give you a heart attack, but you look fantastic. That's the closest I've gotten.
Yeah, I kind of have a rule where like I don't ever bring up that I'm on Dragon Ball to them unless they have made some sort of comment to me. You know what I mean? If they're just wearing a shirt, I'm like, well, who knows? They could watch the subtitle version. Maybe they're a jerk. But I won't do it all the time. But like if there's, because I that opens up a huge door to a long conversation, and sometimes I don't want to have that. Or like maybe some people just don't care or don't know much about it. But if anyone ever brings it up to me, I usually will tell them that I work on the show. Like, I feel like it's kind of a jerk move not to. But I am also pretty notorious for, like, if I walk by somebody who happens to be wearing a cool, like, All Might shirt, I'll like, hello, young Midoriya, after I've already passed them and watched them go like, what the hell just happened there? I was on this video game one time called, gun game, Time Crisis 4. And I played this character on it that would tell the player who's playing the game, like, what to do. And I love to go up to people when I go to the arcade and stand behind them and go, hold the gun over your head for extra points. And they're all like, and like, it's so much fun.
I need to see this in real life now.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Richard, and y'all rock, man.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Dragon Ball, any freaking Dragon Ball, my hero, I love it. And dude, let me tell you, if somebody said, eat this hair and you'll turn into All Might, I might eat the freaking hair.
If that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is.
Richard's seriously contemplating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. But don't tread on the leaf, man. Naruto.
Oh no, I have no problems with Naruto. I'm just sad that it wasn't Dragon Ball merch. That's the only thing.
That's okay. But yeah, and my big plans, my Saturday nights, you know, I don't hit the clubs, I don't do any of that crap. It's like either 10:30 or 11, depending on the season when it starts, is anime, a 3-hour block of Adult Swim. Do not get between me and my freaking anime, baby, because we
You don't mess with this guy right here, by the
we
way.
got issues. But I'm glad y'all are here. And Chris, I'm wondering, you know, I know the manga is still going, but have they started working on the next season of Dragon Ball where Vegeta gets to learn Ultra Instinct and they get that mastered? And I'm kind of interested in seeing that because
I have a feeling that there are other people who are interested in seeing that as well. You are speaking for everyone here, including myself. However, the people in Japan at Toei and Shueisha, they are too smart, and they know full well that they couldn't tell me that the next stuff is coming without me, like, kind of peeing my pants, and it would be obvious. So they don't tell me anything. I think it's the same in a lot of Hollywood stuff too. Like, they just don't tell you anything. Even if they said it's coming, I wouldn't believe them until we actually saw the materials. In my personal opinion, I think there is the biggest problem that Dragon Ball had for all these years is that there was no new manga, but there is manga now. And it'd be crazy if they didn't. I mean, I just don't know because they won't tell us. And there's been, like, even if I did know, I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. So it's actually better so I don't have to lie to you. So I don't really know.
I think something that probably would help, and just so that they can see how much that you guys love it, because I feel like a lot of the companies, you know, people will tweet them or whatever, but they only get the negative. So something that you can do if you want to see more Dragon Ball is I would suggest, like, tweeting Toei and saying, hey, I love this show. When are we going to get more of it? Hey, Toei, give us more Dragon Ball. Just to show them that, like, hey, not everybody on the internet is going to complain about, you know, this disc or that disc, that there are people that love it and just want to see more of it. And I'm sure that that would make their days.
It is funny, though. There are plenty of people I've noticed on Toei's Instagram. It's just like today is a sunny day, and Luffy is having an awesome day, and half the comments below are just like, cool, make more Dragon Ball. Cool, like.
So maybe say please.
Yeah. People are like, here we are, C2E2, such a fun time. Awesome, make more Dragon Ball.
Well, I could always diss the ones that they replace Dragon Ball with that really suck on tit.
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
Hey.
I keep seeing your shirt, and I can't see very well from here, but it looks like One Piece characters and in the background it's just macaroni and cheese. Like,
It is making me very hungry. I'm not gonna lie.
It's got Zoro and everybody's in the background. Then you got Sabi, Ace, and
but are they in front of an image of mac and cheese? What is that?
It's fire.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it's Fire Fist Ace's ridiculous devil fruit power that's overpowered, but didn't save him from the battle that the.
It's the craft fruit. That's it. So what's up?
My question is more or less, or it's more of a, I don't know if it's a question or more of a your opinion comment kind of thing. So obviously throughout the Tournament of Power, you saw a lot of different characters, whether it was, Universe 6 having what I'm pretty sure was the female version of Broly. And, you saw Goku using different forms to conserve energy, and everyone was doing different things. One thing I've always wanted, and I believe they only did it in Raging Blast 1 or 2, Vegeta deserves Super Saiyan 3. And I was just wondering do you feel the same way? Like, do you ever say anything like, hey, where's my, Super Saiyan 3?
Trust me, I want Super Saiyan 3, and I would actually love him just for a brief moment to go Super Saiyan 4, just for the heck of it. Because I don't know about you guys, but like that weird outfit that he had that had the fur all over it was so freaking cool. I don't know why. I just really liked the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta outfit where
the leather pants.
Yeah, leather pants, and he definitely is very fabulous, but I like him growing his tail back. I think it was pretty fun, man. So I don't know. I think Akira Toriyama, he just tends to kind of move forward. And one thing I can respect about him, because I'm very much like is he has a really bad memory, and he forgets things sometimes. Like, remember the character Launch, the Tien's girlfriend for a while in Dragon Ball, the one that could sneeze and like.
Shapeshift?
Yeah, she was shaped. Someone asked him like, "What happened to her?" He goes, "Oh, I forgot." So that's who I'd love to see Launch come back. I'd like to see her come back.
Good question.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Resurrection L.
Yeah. Resurrection L. Where'd she go? There she is.
Hello.
Hey.
Greetings.
Hello. Goku is the best, and will you ever defeat him?
You can't be angry at that.
I'm not angry at it. That's what I mean. I can't be angry at it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
What do you want me to say? Yes or no? How am I supposed to answer that? No one will ever beat Goku. Because Goku's the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that. That's all they wanted to hear.
That's what he said. I just wanted to go up to Chris Sabat and just say Goku's better. That's all I wanted to do today.
Mission accomplished.
Here, my feelings on Goku. Like, yes, he will never be defeated. Probably that's just the way Goku is. But Vegeta ultimately won the hearts of everyone.
That is true.
Like,
That is true.
when you were kids, you were Goku fans. When you're adults, you're like, that Vegeta's a much better character.
Yeah, you go through some stuff in your life, and you're like, suddenly I get Vegeta.
Yeah.
I get it.
Wait a minute. Goku just likes to fight strong people. He doesn't really care about his friends that much.
I would know. I've been there for a while.
Hello.
Do you
Chris
have the
Sabat.
diamonds? Did you bring the diamonds? No, you've got
It's
a
your
brief.
case.
Your briefcase looks like you were about to deliver the diamonds.
No, it's full of rare cards.
Oh, yes. Even better than diamonds.
Anyway, this is my friend's signature question that she likes to ask everybody, but she doesn't like Dragon Ball, so she's not here. So I'd like to ask both of you, Monica and Christopher, what is the weirdest thing a fan has ever asked you to do?
I was expecting autograph, and then you went do, and I'm like, oh.
Autograph could be one thing that a fan asks you to do.
I mean, I can't think of anything that anybody's asked me to do that's been strange because I'm pretty much down for anything. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do that, whatever. But I did have some people. I went to a convention in the UK, and in the UK, the drinking age is much lower, of course. So they're usually held at universities that are full of drunken college students. They're very debaucherous and loud and awesome. But I went to a convention, and this one guy came through, and he was super drunk, and he's like, I hate Dubs, but I like you. And I'm like, thank you. And then he disappeared. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess he went off to be drunk somewhere. And his friends came up to me, and they were like, do you remember our friend that came through and kind of was like drunk? Yeah, we have a Sharpie, and he's passed out on the lawn. Will you go draw all over him? I'm like, wait, so you're giving me a Sharpie and you're giving me permission to draw all over your friend? They're like, yes, I will do that right now.
So what did you draw?
Oh gosh, I drew a giant Hello Kitty on his chest because he had taken his shirt off and passed out. Giant Hello Kitty.
As you do.
And then I drew a giant like heart tattoo style with the anchor that said Dubs rule. I wrote, I love Dubs down this side. Just because I knew when the guy woke up, he's gonna be like, no.
So Chris, how long did that take you to wash off?
Oh, man. I just brought it straight to my tattoo artist and said, go for it, man. Like, the markings are there. Make it permanent.
You've got to have some strange stuff.
I don't know, man. Like, the longer you do this, the less strange it seems. Like, everything. Like, I am all about signing. Like, man, there's these. Have you guys seen those amazing, like, collectible, like, rare Adidas Dragon Ball shoes? You know which ones I'm talking about? They're so freaking cool. Yes, exactly. Just like his shoe right there. People have brought those to me to sign. And I mean, it's not crazy that you would want to sign like that cool shoe. What's crazy is that you would go, hey, I want you to sign my ultra rare Vegeta shoe. And you go, sure, yeah. And he goes, cool. And he takes it off of his foot. He sets it down on the, and it smelled like 1,000 people had died. Like it was the worst smelling thing I've smelled in a long time. So, and I apologize if on YouTube that person who had that stinky shoe is watching this video at one point. I'm like, but like, guys, seriously, don't wear your shoes and then take them immediately off. And like, don't even take your shoes off anywhere near me, especially on a plane. But yeah, that was bad. One kid brought me like partially eaten food, which was weird. One kid came up and like kept coming up over and over again and really, really begging me to ask his mom out on a date. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I am super married and I don't want to date your mom. I've never even met her, but he was trying to do this sort of arranged marriage thing. He just thought it'd be really cool.
Nobody's ever asked to eat one of your hairs?
No, I don't have any hair, so it's pretty easy, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And Monica, I want to say I actually grew up with Dragon Ball Z Kai. So for me, you are the original Bulma.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, so we're going to try to get through as many questions as possible. 5 minutes left.
Oh, so we'll go as fast as we can.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
My
Hello.
name is Ryan, and earlier today, I actually got the chance to speak to you, Chris. And I just wanted to reiterate some of the things that I said. Having grown up with Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball Kai, even though not many people like to talk about it that much anymore, but the fact that it's still going and that a lot of the people that I've listened to for so long are still doing some of the voices to this day, it's kind of inspiring to some extent. And I wanted to thank you both for giving me those fond memories that still stick with me in my head of always coming home from school, throwing my book bag, and watching Dragon Ball when I could, and for inspiring me to become a voice actor as well.
Congratulations, that's awesome. Thank you. Are you kidding me? We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So seriously.
It's the truth.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Like, I'm glad that you all appreciate it, because for whatever dumb reason, we decided to like literally throw our entire voices into this show. Like, we could have faked it. We could have done like kind of half screams if we really wanted to, but we weren't going to have it that way. We were like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this until it hurts. So we appreciate it.
My question was, has there ever been a really surreal moment in your life when you really understood the gravity that you have on a lot of generations, not even just people that are old and have a 9 to 5, but some of the kids nowadays still get rush up to you guys, asking for autographs. Has there ever been a moment where you're like, I've reached this point in my life where people will recognize me, young and old, regardless of how many shows or animes I've been on?
That's so sweet.
I know that almost answered itself.
I know. I know for me, and I'm sure you feel this way as well, as anime has gotten more and more popular, and as the anime fans have grown up and had their own families, now there are whole families. I've met some of you that watch Dragon Ball together, and sometimes it's grandparents, parents, and children. It's just a whole generations full of people, and I absolutely find that amazing. But also, we've realized as our demographic has gotten younger, we're role models now. We know that there are a lot of young people that are looking to us that want to be voice actors or want to be good people, and so they're watching us very intently. And so that it is wonderful, and it is something that we care very deeply about, but at the same time, it's very daunting. Right? It's everybody's watching, hey, what is Bulma going to do now? So it's you always want to do the best, and you want to be the best person you can be, but we certainly want to go that extra mile for you guys because we do know how much you care, and we care about you.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. It's a really good answer. It's very easy to forget that so many people like this stuff, and they because for the longest time, for many, it's still to this day I have to convince myself oh yeah, people actually appreciate what you do on this thing, and I love coming to these conventions for that reason. People are oh, you're so nice, you stay a long time. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. I really do like seeing people at the table, and my favorite thing is when people are bringing their kids, because it reminds me so much of when I started on Dragon Ball in 1998 and you guys were kids, and your parents were taking your kid to go meet some actor from some show they knew nothing about, but it was so important to you. So whenever I see kids, I'm super activated by them, because I'm I want to give these kids the same experience that I tried to give you guys when you were young. So kids, I would, if it's all the same to me, I would never charge a kid for an autograph. You know what I mean? You're not we never charged anyone for autographs when we were younger, because you were all 10, and you're not going to take money from a 10-year-old or something like that. But it is really special to us to be here, and it blows my mind that anyone would wait longer than 10 seconds to say anything to me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Thank you both again. I hope to give people the same memories that y'all have both given me. I love
With
you
that
guys a lot.
attitude, you will.
Thank you. And this is going to actually be our last question here.
Sorry, guys.
All right, no pressure.
Oh, God, all pressure.
Better be good, though.
Hi, first of all, thank you guys for coming. There are a couple of power couples in Dragon Ball. Why do Vegeta and Bulma work so well together, and why are they the best couple in Dragon Ball?
Thank you for that. Well, let me ask you this, because I've heard a lot of it. Out of our audience, how many of our couples out here relate to Bulma and Vegeta? Yes. I think that's what it is. They're the most relatable couple, and they're so real, because you know what? You don't always like your significant other. That's just the way it works. But you love them, right? You put up with their BS. You put up with their wandering off for years. You put up with all of that because deep down, you honestly do care. And I think that that's what works so well with them, is they're two very strong, stubborn individuals and proved that two people that are very like-minded can work out. There's just going to be a lot of strife in the middle.
Yeah, ladies, learn from Bulma. If you really want to make your man love you more, keep your ex-boyfriend around for a long time. Poor Yamcha was stuck at that, he took it like a champ. Not only did he die 10 times, not only did he literally get his heart carved out by an android, he got his heart carved out by Bulma too. We never got to see that either. And he's just so happy-go-lucky. Oh yeah, we used to date and stuff, right, Poir?
His cat friend.
And now when you watch Super, if you guys ever catch it, when it's running again or you're watching it again, pay attention to all of the moments where Yamcha's in his apartment waiting to find out if he's going to be asked to be on the squad that he's never asked to be on. Because he has the most lonely looking apartment. It's just like he has the whole 3rd floor or 4th floor penthouse of this like industrial building, but he only has like a full-size bed, just like a twin-size bed, enough for him and his cat. He has one chair at the table and one picture over top of his bed, and it's the loneliest, saddest thing in the world. Deep down, we're all a little like Yamcha too, aren't we?
I mean, really.
Poor guy. But yeah, they're great. They're just an amazing couple. Like it goes to prove that like no matter how tough you are, the ladies are always tougher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. And thank you guys. Let's give a huge round of applause to Chris and Monica.
Thank you.
And thank you guys.